Good day, fellas. I hope you're ready for your daily dose of skill. Today, we are going to take a look into the brand new event that is happening in World of Tanks, and it is not pretty. We have a new loot boxes, or as Wargaming would like to call it, Raumfalte Cargo. Translation, loot boxes. You are gambling, you are buying them in order to get the certain tanks. And you may think, what is so different about this? Why such a tone skill? Why not even making jokes and whatnot? Because they have completely different mechanics, and it is going to be significantly more expensive for you to get the tanks. Especially if you are a tank collector, you may get very much discouraged from this. That being said, if in the past, in order to get every and each tank from the loot boxes, you needed around 150 to 200 euros, maybe up to 300 euros, depending on the loot boxes. Now, 1000 euros may not be enough, unfortunately, and it is going to be quite a conversation we are going to have. That being said, video is going to be split into the three pieces. First of all, we are going to explain the mechanics, how the loot boxes are looking like, and how much money that would cost. Right? The second bit is we are going to talk about the tanks you can get inside. Do you even want to participate in this event, and what is the eyes on the price, or what is the best tank of all of this that everyone will want to get? And last but not least, we are going to talk about the psychology of the loot boxes and how Wargaming is trying to get as much money as they physically and possibly can from you, which is, I understand it is a business. I understand that people, or I suppose to say company, wants to make money in order to pay the salaries for employees and whatnot. But in my opinion, this is quite a bit too much. Plus, on top of that, just to highlight the situation that the things can get even worse as well. Anyways, without further ado, let's go for part number one. Okay, boys. What are those loot boxes, and what is the difference between previous loot boxes which we had? Previous loot boxes had one tier. That means you are buying the box and you are getting the same rewards pretty much all the time, or I suppose to say rewards can be different. Are you getting boosters? Are you getting gold? Are you getting premium tank? Are you getting everything in the same box? In this situation, we have a very different situation. You can buy tier 1 loot boxes, or call it Raumfalte Proto. That means the entry level box. From the entry level box, you have 20% chance to get alpha box. You hear that right? It's like Matryoshka. You are opening the box and you are seeing you can get box inside the box. And it's not enough to say that Wargaming definitely improved the mechanics of it, how colorful that is, and to give a bit more of the dopamine, which is a psychological standpoint of all of this, right? That's not all, fellas. So 2 tiers, no, fellas, 3 tiers. So imagine that. Math-wise, you bought 100 boxes. From 100 boxes, you are going to get on average 20 boxes of alpha. Now, in alpha box, you have 20% chance to get prime box. So from those 20 boxes which you have 20% chance to get the box. You know what that means? That means 4 boxes. You're getting 4 boxes to get the super duper hyper turbo reward. You hear that right? 100 boxes, which will be around 130 euros, will give you possibly 4 alpha boxes or prime boxes, or however you would call it. Let's call it in tiers. This is tier 3, right? The best one. This is tier 2, and this is tier 1 boxes. And how silly is that, fellas? You thought the previous boxes were bad? You thought the previous boxes were disgusting? Okay, let's play the game of the chance. I have couple of the calculations made by the strong guy mathematician, right? And let's see how much do you need to get boxes in order to get the vehicle, right? Maybe the start would be a bit better to see how many tanks you can get, right? So in tier 1 box, this is the one you can buy with the money. There are 10 tanks to get. 10. On the tier 2 box, there is 5 tanks to get, including one brand new one. And into the tier 3 box, there are 3 tanks to get, right? And eyes on the price is going to be one vehicle, in my humble opinion, right? Now, if you are targeting one vehicle, obviously this is going to be insanity, and I would never recommend to buy the loot boxes just to target one vehicle. But if you do, let's talk about this. In order to get one tank, 100% chance in order to get one tank, you need 50 boxes in order to get the tier 1 loot box tank, right? Whatever that is. Is it T-77? Is it one brand new tank? Doesn't really matter. 50 boxes. In order to get 100% chance tier 2 loot box tank, we are talking about 100% chance, you need around 300 boxes to guaranteed the tank for yourself. Obviously, you can get it after 100 boxes. You have a 60% chance to get the tank after 100 boxes, but you know, you may be unlucky, and let's talk the numbers, let's talk the math. And in order to get 100% the tank of the tier 3 box, you need 500 loot boxes. Now, quick maths. If one loot box costs, let's say, €1.5 and you need 500 boxes, how much is that? Fellas, you can buy car for this. €750 in order to get a tank guaranteed. Sure, looking into this, you have 40% chance get the tank after buying 100 boxes. And you have, let's say, 70% chance to get the tank buying 300 loot boxes, right? But still, nevertheless, it is very important thing to highlight that if you are unlucky, you are going to get screwed a big time. And we are talking about the one vehicle. Now, if we would zoom out a bit and we would check out what is the luck and what is an average probability to get the tank, digging deep into the math. In order to get all proto vehicles, there are 10 of them. Proto vehicles are the tier 1 loot boxes. You need 400 loot boxes and you are going to get everything from the tier 1. Now, speaking about the tier 2, you need, in order to get it guaranteed, you need around 700. If you have a bad luck, obviously you may have a better luck, or you can have an average luck and you are going to get everything and it's going to be great. And last but not least, we have last box, tier 3 box. In order to get everything, pretty much 100%, you need between 800 to 1,000 loot boxes to get everything, right? Fellas, think about it for a second. Let's take number 800, right? 800 loot boxes, taking €1.50 per box, right? Think how much money that is. It is over €1,000, €1,200, €1,300. This is absolutely insanity. This is absolutely insanity. It's disgusting, fellas. And those calculations, fellas, they were made by using the certain formula, and just BoT did a lot of rounds of it, and by the calculations, out of 100,000 people opening 1,000 boxes, this is what we have. Those are the results. This graph is talking about the amount of the tanks, right? You got, and this is by boxes opened. So let's say if the casual player will buy 200 boxes, and it's already quite a bit, but let's say 200 boxes, which would be around €300, you should be getting, with the average luck, right, or on just simply talking about the average, you should get 6 tier 1 tanks, 2 tier 2 tanks, and close to 1 tier 3 tank. Absolutely ridiculous. Let's see what is inside the boxes, not only tank wise, right? So what you are getting from this, you are getting either credits from the tier 1 box. Let's highlight this tier 1 box. You have 20% chance to get tier 2 box. You have 100% chance to get either credits, either training booklet or universal guide or manual, pretty much crew experience. You have 100% chance to get personal reserve, either it's for experience, either it's for credits, either it's for crew for 1 hour. you have 50% chance to get a premium day and 2% chance to get the tank, right? Now, please keep this in mind. This is the tier 1 loot box. Now, if you are scrolling down, we can find tier 2 box. Keep this in mind. If you are buying 100 boxes, you will get around 20 tier 2 boxes. In this box, you have a chance to get the maximum level tier 3 box. Then you get 100% some free experience. You get 75% chance to get either premium days, either personal reserves, either training booklets, and 15% chance to get components. There is so many bad things about this. How to say this politely? You could not buy experimental equipment pieces in the past, or you are getting very, very little of it whenever you are purchasing one or another bundle. This is kind of breaking the system to a certain extent, and you will be able, if you are spending a lot of money, you will be able to get quite a bit of those components. You will use components to get experimental equipment to the tier 3, and then your tanks will be kind of more powerful. Look at it however you want to. And obviously you have a chance to get 3, 5, or 10 missions for 5x experience, 15% chance. So pretty much looking into the math, from 20 boxes, you should be getting 3 rolls of this. So will you get free experience or will you get components? No one knows the exact chances of those. Now, moving on next, thinking that you have bought 100 loot boxes, right? You had 20 tier 2 boxes, now you have 4 top tier boxes from 100 boxes, right? I know, a lot of boxes. Drink every single time I say a box. Now, maximum award. If you purchase 100 loot crates, you are getting around 4 boxes of the tier 3. So what you are getting in those? You are getting either gold, 750 to 1,500 to 3,000. You have 75% chance, or 3 out of 4 boxes, premium days, personal reserves, or booklets. And after that, you have 30% chance to get a male crew member with enough experience to get either 1 or either 2 or either 3 perks. This is straight up bullshit. What do I mean by saying this is very, very simple. If it happened to be that you got crew member with one crew skill, this is straight up garbage. This is straight up garbage considering how much money you are paying for this. Let's say you get yourself a, doesn't matter, premium tank and you have absolutely no skills. By using one book, you are pushing the crew up to first skill. So this is laughable. This is straight up laughable. Like the worst reward which you can get with 1 or 2 booklets, but that's only me. After that, once again, we are talking about components, 200, 500, or 1,000 components. Yes, you can upgrade the experimental equipment with it. Absolutely disgusting, you know. But once again, this is like a bait for players who wants to have experimental equipment on every and each tank. Disgusting. And after that, you have the 5x experience, either 10, either 20, either 50. Now you may think it is bad. It's even worse. Now, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, scrolling into the back, let's talk about one more thing. Whenever you are buying the Christmas loot boxes, or whenever you are buying whatever else loot box, right, you are farming gold. If you are a tank collector, you know you bought 200 loot boxes and you are getting the how they are called, the same vehicle once again, right, after you collected everything and you are getting gold. So tier 8 is roughly from 8 to 10,000 gold, right? That's great. Not anymore. If you would pay attention here, once you have obtained all possible vehicles from tier 1 or tier 2 loot box, you will receive tier 3 box as a compensation for a duplicate. That means instead of getting 8 or 10,000 gold, you are getting the tier 3 box, which, let's get real, will give you most likely 750 gold, maybe 7 premium days or booklet or reserves, and let's say you will get some, whatever, 200 components, or even better reward, a crew member with enough experience to get one crew perk. laughable, disgusting, straight up horrible in my humble opinion. Okay, let's see what kind of tanks are you getting and what is the ice on the price. I'm not going to be making you to wait for a long time. We are instantly going to the highlight of all of this, at least in my opinion, which is MBT-B. MBT-B is a tier 10 American heavy tank which has garbage armor. So that means it is extremely hard tank to play with. Heavy, no armor, difficult. But what this tank has a clip potential. You know T57 clip potential? 1.6 thousand in 6 seconds. This tank is a bit better. Just a little bit. With this vehicle, you can do 2,400 damage in 7 seconds. I will repeat it once again, so we will understand this. 2,400 in pretty much 7 seconds. You see E100, you caught E100, and you said hello for E100. In 7 seconds, you are going to be taking most of his hit points. All tier 8s are clippable, all tier 9s are clippable, and most of the tier 10s are clippable. You know what that gives? Extremely good player will know what he is doing, and he's going to be slapping everyone left, right, and center. Bad player or not so experienced player will have a great time by going in front, YOLOing, catching the tank, clicking auto aim, and clipping you fully. You think Waffle is powerful, which is not. This tank is really powerful, okay? This tank is created to spam literally full gold, be close to the enemies, and slap the living crap out of everyone. And that shit is addictive. I played with this vehicle 5 games and I did not want to stop playing with this tank. It was so much fun. And this is even worse thing considering how the things are looking like and how much this pleasure is costing. And you know, it brings me to the different question, how much money you can actually pay to be a collector in World of Tanks. You know, 1,000 euros, fellas. 1,000 euros for a bloody virtual tank. Disgusting. Moving on next, there is a Chieftain. Yes, you hear that correctly. In the tier 3 box, there is a Chieftain. It looks like a better Chieftain than we currently have in the game because current Chieftain was completely destroyed. The current Chieftain has pretty much only ability to play hold down. This Chieftain hold down is significantly worse if you would take a look at it, right? There is plenty of the places where you can get penetrated, but the gun handling is significantly better. Overall, in my opinion, not the most important tank. And after that, we have a tier 9 French. We have a tier 9 French medium tank, Vercingétorix. I listened for this tank in the French language. I can't spell that. I apologize, fellas. Impossible. So, that being said, this tank is like CS63. It has speedy mode, so you are getting into position relatively quickly, and whenever you do not want to be fast and you want to get your gun actually back, you are going to the normal mode and you are playing the game in the normal way. Armor-wise, it looks quite powerful, especially whenever you are playing hold down. Although the tank is definitely not unkillable, there are some cupolas, there are lower plate, upper plate. You met someone with a big penetration rounds, you are going to get slapped, right? The alpha damage 400 and overall the stats are going to be changed to make the tank a bit better, and for now, you know, I don't want to dig too deep. I can say it's going to be okay tank. So this is a tier 3. Moving to the tier 2, we have Medvěd. In my opinion, this tank is a stinker. The main reason why so, for a heavy tank to have a pathetic armor like this, it doesn't look good. If you met someone shooting gold, you are pretty much dead meat. Only one selling bit, or only one selling point, at least in my opinion, with this tank is an autoloader. You have potential of 1,760 alpha damage in whatever, 11 seconds or so. Keep this in mind, nothing too crazy, nothing unusual. Udeso 3-3, very powerful tier 9 tank. Sneaky, you can spot, you can do damage, you have autoloader, you can play hold down, massive gun depression, good tank. Eric concept, once again, I will highlight, this tank was sold only via the loot boxes. Extremely good vehicle, if you love Leo, you will love this tank with all your heart. Baza 72-1, I haven't played that much with this tank, but there is nothing special, it's kind of average tank. And E77, average tank. fine, fair enough. Let's move on. The level 1 loot boxes, those are the ones for which you are paying money to get. Let's focus on the new tanks. KPZ Turm. From the Turm side, it is a tier 8 German tank destroyer. It is turtle-like, TS5-like. You have quite a bit of the armor until you don't. So if you met someone shooting gold, it's good luck, have fun. 300 millimeters of penetration is enough to slap the living crap out of this vehicle, right? Plus on top of that, you have a good gun depression. You have automatic siege mode. Whenever you are going slower, you have more gun depression. Nothing unusual, we have seen this before. Alpha damage 400. Nothing too crazy. After that, we have the tier 9 light tank. Wargaming tried to make some sort of EBR like EBR 75, but this tank is definitely significantly worse. It is huge as a light tank. It is, you know what this color means? That means auto penetration. So if someone will shoot this tank, they will penetrate it pretty much all the time. Armor sub-0, like 13 millimeters of armor. Everyone will slap you with high explosives, I kid you not. So as a tank, it's nothing too crazy. Only one bit, what is good, average speed. You do not have the, you do not really have the siege mode, so you don't need to worry about clicking that X, and you are all the time going 80 kilometers per hour, which is very, very quick. And you have an autoloader, 500 alpha damage in 16 seconds, because this tank will get a bit buffed, but overall, nothing too crazy, nothing unusual. I haven't fallen in love with this tank. And last but not least, from the new tank, we have Pancernik, tier 9 Polish heavy tank. It's quite armored. I think it's going to be a relatively easy tank to play with. A lot of armor, as you can see, weak spot on top, weak spot as a lower plate. You can kind of side scrap with this vehicle, right? It is kind of okay until you cannot. Obviously, whenever someone loads gold, you are kind of dead meat. But most important thing is, with nice armor, it comes with a big alpha damage. 650 alpha damage. Absolutely insanity for a tier 9, but you have extremely kaku gun, and it's going to be a problem. I played a couple of games. I did not really enjoy the gun handling of this tank, so to a certain extent I would compare this vehicle against the 60TP, 60TP being significantly better, right? And then we have a repetitive IMBT. We have done the YouTube video with this already. Feel free to check it out lately. Gun is a problem of IMBT and speed. We have Grom. Grom was sold only via Marathon, if I'm not mistaken. And the tank itself is quite hard tank to play with, but it makes very good credits. Pretty much play in front. Closer you are, more damage you do. Jack Tiger prototype. Nothing too special, nothing unusual. If you know Jack Tiger 88 tank destroyer, this tank is the same, but it has a bigger gun, so that makes it better. T-44-100 is legendary tank, if you can say so. Nice vehicle, you need to spam full gold. If you like T-44, you will like this one. AAT-60, very good vehicle. If you know how to play with the paper tanks, you will have a great time just because of the gun and DPM. ML-1951 is kind of a stinker, at least in my opinion. The main reason being why so, because not really reliable gun and not really good armor. And T-77 is quite nice tank. You can clip the enemies, right? And you are relatively quick for a heavy tank. This is what we have from the tanks. And now, last but not least, the last bit, let's talk about the psychology tricks that Wargaming is using, and I am going to say what do I think about it. Okay, let's talk about psychological tricks that Wargaming is using to get as much money as they physically and possibly can from us players. And after that, we are going to have a conversation how World of Tanks is comparing to the other games, and how World of Tanks is looking like in the wider spectrum compared to the other gambling mechanics, right? So, key psychological tactics. Now, many of us are looking into the free boxes from Wargaming side as extremely good thing and everything, but it has a hidden meaning as well. It is like, to the certain extent, to hook you up for one or another thing, right? So, The initial free hook. Giving a free loot boxes yearly with a good rewards teaches players that opening them leads to excitement. Later on, as a free boxes are used, players are nudged to pay to recreate that initial thrill, right? And it works. It 100% works. Some folks may not have that much of disposable income to spend on the game, right? But what Wargaming is doing, Wargaming is even having those special offers whenever there is a last day of the loot boxes, and they are saying, look, listen, give us $5, we will give you 10 loot boxes for people who are free-to-play players, right? This is another way just to get a little bit more from the World of Tanks community. Near miss effect. Even when a player doesn't get their desired item, in this situation you want to get a specific tank, the loot box often provides something almost as good enough. That means you were hunting for Borat, as an example, and you are getting something else, and you are feeling you were so bloody close, right? This near win feeling creates an illusion of being close to success, pushing players to try again. Example, getting a premium tank, but not the one you wanted to. That works 100%. And also, whenever we are having conversation about this, fellas, think about those tricks that Wargaming is using to get as much money as they physically and possibly can from your side. Did you ever fall for those? Maybe free boxes and you got a tank and you want to get more, or alternatively, are any of those tricks pushing you to give more money, right? Out of curiosity, let's have a conversation in the comment section down below. FOMO, fear of missing out. Limited time loot boxes create urgency by making players feel they must act before offer disappears. Whenever loot boxes are coming into the game, they are time-gauged events. That's why we do not have the loot boxes non-stop. Wargaming knows that very, very well, that the outcome would be significantly better if they are time gauging the event and having loot boxes once in 2 months instead of having the same loot boxes non-stop. People would not buy them that quickly, and they would not buy that much. You can see the same situation in the premium tanks. Whenever Wargaming is selling one or another premium tank, they are all the time limiting those tanks on the time, right? You notice that? For example, if you want to buy Progetto, you cannot buy Progetto now. But once in a while, it is coming back. And then, when time is ticking out, you are just simply... you want to get it before the time runs out. I hope it makes sense. Sunk cost fallacy. If player has already spent money on the previous loot boxes, they may feel like they need to keep spending to justify their past purchases and not to waste what they have already spent. It has double meaning over there. This goes for tank collectors. Folks who want to get every and each tank in the game, and they are kind of afraid to get out of the loop, right? Even though the things are becoming significantly more expensive, as we can see in the current loot boxes. And not only that, this thing works in a different way as well. What do I mean by saying that? If you are a player who spent 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 euros on the game, you don't feel like you are enjoying nowadays World of Tanks and you keep playing the game, right? Just because you feel like you invested so much money, and if you would stop playing the game now, you would feel like it is a waste, right? Think about it. Yes, I'm looking at you. Escapism and emotional regulation. People turn to loot boxes for stress relief, much like gambling addicts use the bettings as an escape. This is also quite an interesting one. It doesn't necessarily mean that will work for every and each person, but me personally, I do not go into the casinos. I do not play blackjack. I don't play poker or something. I know how my brain works, and I know I can get into this stuff relatively easily. So that could work for other folks as well. That whenever loot boxes are starting, it's like, happy feeling. Now I am going to get something nice, and I'm going to enjoy myself. Okay, next bit is going to be conditioning. If you are interested, obviously you can read everything. I am going to read the most important things, right? So the classic conditioning. Application in the loot boxes. Games use flash animation, sound effects, and dramatic reveals to make opening loot boxes feel exciting. You know, the Christmas loot boxes, you still can hear the sound whenever you're opening something, right? And now, in the current loot boxes, which we are going to have, Wargaming made... Personally, I haven't seen how it is looking like, but I'm pretty sure that they made it flashy, they made it beautiful, they made it pretty. And it has a reason, not for the game to look more better. There is a psychological reason for that. Behavior loop, application in the loot boxes. Players click to open, get reward, feel excitement, repeat, creating a loop behavior. Every and each thing what this game is doing, it has a meaning, fellas. It truly does. Moving on next. Partial reinforcement, extinction, resistance. Players sometimes win, sometimes lose, making them believe that next box could be the lucky one. How many of you felt like this? You bought 20 loot boxes and you have, let's say, 30 boxes left to get a pity mechanic, and you're buying 5 more, 5 more, 5 more, 5 more. Think about this. Does it work for you or not? And extinction burst. When players don't get a rare item after multiple tries, they buy even more boxes in frustration before quitting. So let's say there is 10 tanks to get, you got couple of tanks, and your budget simply doesn't allow you to buy more, but you really want to. You're buying some boxes more, and then you are thinking, do you have enough money for rent, and do you have enough money for food? And last but not least, effects as a content creator. Now, this is very important thing to say, because I know that every and each content creator is adding a bit to the issue and a bit to the problem. I look myself as a car reviewer, right? Like whatever, Duke de Miro, if you name it, right? I am checking the cars, doesn't matter. The car is good, the car is bad, the car is quirky, the car is absolutely amazing. I am giving you my review as a content creator, right? And if as a content creator you make a decision not to review the new Lamborghini, not review the new Golf, not review the new Toyota, you can disappear, right? So same goes for a content creator. I do not support loot box mechanics whatsoever. I've been open about this forever and ever. And the thing is, I cannot not to review the loot boxes, and I cannot not to review the tanks, because it's just simply... it is a death sentence for a content creator, and I really want to highlight in what kind of boat content creators are sitting at, right? So, Scholz approve. Seeing streamers, also friends or other players, getting amazing items can trigger bandwagon effects. Displaying the recent big wins reinforce the idea that valuable items are obtainable, right? It is very, very important thing to say, and my mission is not to make you buy loot boxes. You know, for me, it's not hot, not cold. Where are you spending your money? Are you going to the strip club, or are you buying the loot boxes? For me, it's not hot, not cold. You know, I do not dig into your pockets. But I think it is extremely important thing to highlight that as a content creator, nor I, neither any other content creators has the chance to just simply say, no, I'm not interested in that, and I won't review the tanks from the loot boxes. Because think about it, how much content is coming in the loot boxes? It is crazy, right? It truly is. And social comparison, seeing others with rare skins triggers desire to keep up. This is also very important. Your clanmate got whatever new tank or new skin, and then you are asking from where you got it, and the guy is saying from the loot boxes, and then you are thinking, I wish I could have gotten that as well, right? All of those psychological tricks are beating the living crap out of our brain, and they work. Now, last but not the least, we are going to compare World of Tanks against the other video games out there, and we will see how big of the devil Wargaming is, because you would be surprised. I went through the list. Wargaming looks like a bloody sheep compared to the other gaming companies still. They are playing very, very soft ball with us. I can promise you that. That being said, what is very important thing? Let's highlight some stuff. Apex Legends. Apex Legends is free-to-play battle royale shooter offering Apex packs with random cosmetic items and ultra-rare shards. Legendary is 7.4% and Heirloom shards is 0.045%. Do you see the number? Do you see the number? And guaranteed at 500 packs. I do not know the price of that. I do not play this game, but oh my bananas. Imagine, this is the same situation like Wargaming would sell a premium tank and the pity mechanic would be on 500 loot boxes. This is rough. CSGO. CSGO is competitive shooter where you open cases obviously requiring money to get skins with extremely rare knife and glove drops. Drop rates, knife skins 0.26 and no pity mechanic. So if you want to get a golden knife, well, you may need to gamble a bit. Dota 2. It is MOBA where you buy treasure chests that drops cosmetics including rare sets and ultra rare items. Ultra rare cosmetics are often 1%. Pity. Escalating odds. Chances increases slightly per failure. Do you know what that means? That means if, let's say in World of Tanks, you would have chance to get 2% the tank. After 100 boxes, the chance could be 5%. After another 100 boxes, it could be 10%. This is just as an example. You can start everything from lower. In order to get a ultra rare waffle premium tank, it's 0.01 chance, and after that, you are increasing to 2%, 3% until you are getting it. Absolutely disgusting. FIFA. Lets you buy card packs to build soccer teams. The rarest player cards can boost in-game performance. Drop rates often sub 1% and mid-elite 4 to 5%. Pity, none. Each pack is independent to gamble. Think about this type of situation. No pity mechanics, nothing. Genshin's Impact. If we would pay attention here, hard pity at 90 pulls, 50-50 mechanic ensures banner character by 180 pulls. Pretty much, if I understood this correctly, after 180 pulls, you are going to get it, right? To get whatever legendary item or whatever they are selling, right? Grand Order. Drop rates around 1% or 0.7%. Pity mechanics, absolutely nothing. Pity introduced at 2022 at 330 rolls. So once again, the gambling had no pity mechanics, and after that in 2022 they introduced something. Diablo Immortal. This is a good one. I must admit I watched some streamers opening the boxes. I did not even play Diablo Immortal, and pretty much they spent 40, 50, 60, 100 grand just to get whatever legendary dildo sword. It's disgusting. Drop rate 5, gems 4.5%, perfect gems 0.05%. What that basically means? That basically means it's like whatever, the best equipment in the game, right? And there is no pity mechanic whatsoever to get perfect gems. So you are gambling until you are getting what you exactly want. Now this is, let's see World of Tanks into the bunch of the mammoths. How World of Tanks is comparing to them. World of Tanks. Premium tanks, 2% per crate, guaranteed tank every 50 crates. This looks like a bloody heaven. This looks like a heaven compared to whatever Diablo and whatnot. And we can check out the World of Tanks competitor. Although I need to admit that World of Tanks current loot boxes, they are significantly more disgusting than the simple ones which we had before. Simple loot boxes are looking like a heaven now, because now what we have at this point in time, they are significantly more pushy. You know, they are just simply pushing to get those great tanks in the last tier. At least this is how I look into this. War Thunder. War Thunder offers event crates for rare vehicles, tanks and planes with some lowest published odds in the genre. Top vehicles as low as 0.001%. 0.001%. Pity mechanics, none. BT mechanics, none, fellas. Absolutely none. Yeah, that being said, I truly want to believe that Wargaming is still playing a very soft ball with us, and they do not want to kill the game, but they want to make money from the World of Tanks community. I have no doubts whatsoever in my mind, right? I don't think that they are trying to kill the game. I don't really think it is their intention, but in the same time, they are trying to push the buttons and to push the limits and make it as expensive as they physically and possibly can. And I am afraid of one thing, that this may be too much, and World of Tanks players, even the loyal collectors, will say, yeah, it's a bit too much. Sorry, Papa working in Wargaming, 1,000 euros to get all the tanks that you are selling from this, and to get that short-time dopamine rush, maybe it's not really worth it, right? And this is quite a sad thing, and it's very, very, very sad to see World of Tanks going to that direction. It truly is. Okay, fellas, we need to do calculations, and at this point in time, speaking about the new loot boxes, it's not 2% to get a premium tank. It's not. What we are going to do, we are going to show the true percentage what is to get the tier 3 loot box tank, right? It's definitely not 2%, it's definitely lower, so number will appear over there. That being said, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I try to do my best to inform you to the best of my abilities what kind of tricks Wargaming is using in order to dig into your pockets and to get as much use as they physically and possibly can. Please let me know in the comment section down below. Did it shock you? How do you feel about this? Are you planning to buy the loot boxes in this season? Do you think Wargaming crossed the line? And I must admit, I am quite disappointed with Wargaming's decision. And I know why Wargaming needs more money, because I don't really think that they cannot maintain the things as they are going now. I think Wargaming needs more money to... Your guesses. Do you know why? Do you know why, fellas? Wargaming is creating plenty of the other games in the background. We can see Project CV, there is some sort of other games that they are working on, and creating a game is a big money pit. So that being said, the World of Tanks players are funding everything what Wargaming is working on behind the screens, right? We need to be honest with ourselves. This is how the things are looking like. And it would be nice if all this money that Wargaming is getting would go towards the World of Tanks development, right? To have new maps, to have new mechanics in the game, or just to fix the maps or fix the tanks which are broken, right? But in the end of the day, unfortunately, they are going, the money is going somewhere elsewhere, which is kind of sad. And, you know, I love World of Tanks. I've been playing it for, since, fellas, 2012. So we are talking about the 13 years, right? But this is very, very bad, and this is disgusting. Anyways, are you going to buy the loot boxes? Be honest with me. I am dying to read the comment section down below, and I apologize for not being able to simply stop producing the content where the loot boxes goes. I just simply cannot. I explained that before. It is a death sentence if I would, and I need to review the tanks as well that are coming from the loot boxes. But keep this in mind. If it happened to be that you have a bit of the issue where it goes for addictiveness to gambling and whatnot, keep this in mind that Wargaming wants to hook you on that hook, which is very, very sad thing. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I very much appreciate you, and see you very, very soon. Skill is out for today. Peace.